Now, as you probably all know or can guess, C.J. MacKenzie, former Dean of Engineering at the University of Saskatchewan, was of Scottish extraction. And in fact, this tie that I'm wearing and some of our dignitaries are wearing is the MacKenzie tartan. So it's a very official event, and what better way to celebrate that by having a bagpiper? So Mr. Eric Peach from our department, the Department of Engineering Physics, has graciously agreed to be the piper this evening. He'll be wearing a tartan from the Isle of Skye, and he'll be playing Dawning of the Day and At Long Last and piping in our dignitaries. And I'd ask you to stand to welcome in the dignitaries as they're piped in. So please stand. Please be seated. My name is Michael Bradley, and I'm the MC for the evening. I'm a professor in the Department of Physics and Engineering Physics. And in addition to our distinguished speaker, we have a number of dignitaries visiting. And they will have some words to say about the event, its history, and the speaker, our speaker himself. I'd like to call upon first the Minister of Advanced Education for the province of Saskatchewan, Mr. Rob Norris, to say a few words. So please welcome Minister Norris.
Michael, thanks very much. I'm delighted to be here, especially in such esteemed company. To City Councillor Maren Lowen, to President Eileen Bush-Vishniak, to our Dean, Dean Kaporis, to our distinguished lecturer tonight, to Charles Till and his wife Kay, and I know other family members from across Saskatchewan, to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Premier Brad Wall, and on behalf of the Government of Saskatchewan, and most especially on behalf of the Ministry of Advanced Education, the ministry I have the honor of serving, I'm delighted to be here tonight among friends as we think about connecting students with members of industry, all tied together through the College of Engineering. I'm delighted to be here for the annual C.J. MacKenzie Distinguished Lecture. Chalmers Jack MacKenzie, an impressive scholar, an instrumental professional, and an exemplary citizen. When we think about his commitment to community, as he focused on the construction of the Broadway Bridge during the Depression era, putting his fellow citizens to work and expanding opportunities for the city. When we think about his engagement and leadership on campus, the inaugural dean of the College of Engineering. And when we think about a time of crisis, where the fate and future of the world was in the balance, he took up a call and went to Ottawa with the National Research Council and contributed mightily to the world that we know today. And as the war was winding down, he had the foresight to see a role for the National Research Council out beyond conflict. In fact, becoming the president in 1944. And yet again taking new responsibilities in 1948 as he became the president of the Atomic Energy Board of Canada, a role that he would play not simply for Canadians, but for others around the world. And when we think about the recognition, when we think about C.J. MacKenzie being the first North American awarded the Kelvin Medal for engineering in the United Kingdom, when we think about the honor that was bestowed upon him as he was welcomed as a companion of the Order of Canada, and indeed tonight, here with all of you on an annual basis, honored locally, honored appropriately for his significant contributions. Tonight offers a recognition about the significance of our students and our scholars and our industry leaders within Saskatchewan. Tonight in this room is where ideas and ideals merge with entrepreneurial instincts and hard-earned experience. This is a room that represents the very best of Saskatchewan. That is the new Saskatchewan, with a population that's on the rise, that's grown by more than 114,000 people since 2007. The new Saskatchewan with an unemployment rate of 3.9%, the best now for several months in Canada. The new Saskatchewan with more than 13,340 jobs. In fact, right here in Saskatoon, more than 3,600 jobs open and available today. The new Saskatchewan, where your government has invested more than $4.6 billion in post-secondary education, invested in initiatives like the Saskatchewan Advantage Scholarship to encourage more high school graduates to go into post-secondary education in programs like engineering. Invested in the Saskatchewan Innovation and Opportunity Scholarship for those senior undergraduates and graduate students that are pushing the envelope and focusing on excellence. And for those that have graduated, we've put in place the Graduate Retention Program. As you finish your four-year program, you're eligible for up to $20,000 back for staying, for working, and contributing to Saskatchewan. And today there are more than 40,000 graduates that have already contributed to and benefit from this initiative. This is a room full of engineers, all of you helping to build the new Saskatchewan and the next Saskatchewan. And as you do, you'll be assisted by the lessons that we'll hear tonight from Dr. Charles Till, a pioneer, an innovator, an expert in key areas of nuclear energy, a subject that allows us to outline key components of a value chain that connect directly to Saskatchewan. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President, I am delighted to join you tonight, and I want to say how much I appreciate the honor and opportunity of receiving your invitation and joining you for this distinguished lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Norris, for those inspirational words connecting the past to the future, which is, of course, what engineering is really all about, I think. Our next guest is Councillor Marion Lowen, City Councillor for the City of Saskatoon, Ward 7, and she's here bringing greetings on behalf of the city.
Well, thank you very much, Michael, for that introduction. It is my pleasure to be here on behalf of City Council and on behalf of the Mayor, Don Atchison, who is not able to attend this evening, to bring greetings to you on behalf of the City of Saskatoon. So I am not an engineer. I do not operate with engineering-like precision, and as a result, I left my speaking notes in the car this evening. However, this does come with a significant silver lining for you, which is that this is going to be very brief indeed. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge those dignitaries who are also here celebrating with us this evening. Of course, Minister Norris is here, Dr. Till, most importantly, and President Eileen Bush-Vishniak is here as well. I know there are a number of other dignitaries in the room and also people who have contributed into organizing and putting this event together. This, as Minister Norris noted, is an interesting event because of its namesake, because of the legacy of engineering in this community, and because of the strength of this community as the College of Engineering, but the university community at large. And I think it's worth noting that this community of students has contributed greatly to Saskatoon, and particularly in a period of growth. And as Minister Norris has noted, in booming times for the city, we welcome you to contribute even further by engineering us a couple more bridges. So feel free to take on that extra work project if you feel so inclined. I'm very much looking forward to hearing Dr. Till's lecture this evening. It's a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge his contributions and those of the community at large. I congratulate you all, and thank you very much for including me in this event.
Thank you, Councillor Lowen, for those words. And when I moved to Saskatoon, one of the things I learned is that it's referred to as the city of bridges, so that's a very apt comment. And so, our next dignitary will need no introduction to you. She is an engineer, a mechanical engineer by training, a researcher in acoustics, an educator, and the president of our university. She, as I say, needs no introduction, but her name is Eileen Bush-Vishniak, and I'd like you to welcome her to the stage for her speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the 38th annual CJ MacKenzie Gala on behalf of the university. It's also my pleasure to specifically welcome some of our dignitaries. You've already heard from the Honorable Rob Norris, from Deputy Minister Nithi Govindasamy, who is here tonight, and from Councillor Maren Lowen. It's absolutely wonderful to see so many people come together for this very special evening. The CJ MacKenzie Gala was built on the tradition of bringing together students, faculty, staff, and alumni from the College of Engineering for an evening of celebration. But the event also presents us with an opportunity to recognize the important relationships that exist between the university and our industry partners. And because most of us here this evening are engineers, myself included, I say look around and say thank you to an engineer. Our daily lives are a reminder of what our profession can accomplish. The roads on which we drive, the cars in which we drive, the buildings we drive past, and the bridges over which we drive, even if there aren't enough of them, and the GPS devices that help us to get where we're going, all made possible thanks to engineers. But also our computers, our smartphones, our microphones, our microwaves, our elevators, and even the clean water we drink. All of this is made possible, made better by engineers. So congratulations to everyone in the room. Engineers do great work. This evening, we are very privileged to hear about the great work of one of our distinguished graduates, our distinguished lecturer, Dr. Charles Till. From the fields of Saskatchewan to the field of nuclear power, Dr. Till's story of how a small boy from rural Saskatchewan found himself in the center of international nuclear power research and development is sure to be an inspiration to all of us. Dr. Till should be a good reminder to the students in the audience of what our profession is capable of achieving and where a degree in engineering can take you. Be assured, students, that the college and the university are here to support you during your time at the university. The education you receive will add to your lives and to the lives of others, and we hope you will see your futures in your university experience. Our ultimate hope is that we help you discover what you are passionate about, just as tonight's speaker, Dr. Till, has. We will prepare you for a world in which the only thing you can count on is change. and often as engineers, you will be leading that change. We are focused on the role we play in helping our students become our graduates and alumni, people who are in possession of a positive attitude and contributing members of society. Dr. Till's story is a perfect and proud example of what is possible in the discipline of engineering. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Madam President. And now, before we embark upon our feast, I'd like to invite my colleague, Professor Adam Barassa, to say a few words of thanks.
Thanks, Mike. Well, it is our tradition here at the MacKenzie Gala to ask a blessing before our meal. So if you feel comfortable to do so, please join us. God, we ask your blessing on our gathering tonight. We are thankful for the freedom that we have to be together in celebration and for the abundance that surrounds us. We ask that you keep us humble and attentive to our calling, that we act in service, mindful of those less fortunate, and with stewardship of our resources. We are thankful especially for this meal, for all who farmed and prepared the food, and that we can enjoy it together tonight. Amen.
I'd like to invite Jessica Geddert, who is an engineering student, chemical engineering, I believe, and who is the chair of the National Conference on Women in Engineering, which will be held in November 2014. So please welcome Jessica Geddert to the stage, to the podium, and she'll tell you a bit about that conference.
Thank you. As Michael said, my name is Jessica Geddert, and I am currently in my 4th year of chemical engineering at the University of Saskatchewan. And I am here to talk to you and pleased to announce to you, the engineering community, that we have an exciting opportunity coming up in November when the U of S will, for the first time, be hosting the National Conference on Women in Engineering, also known as NCWE. Many of you likely do not know what NCWE is, so I'll take a couple minutes to explain what it is and why it matters. NCWE is a conference held by the Canadian Federation of Engineering Students and hosted by a different member university across Canada annually, and this is the first time it will be held in the prairies. The conference is hosted by undergraduates, and as Michael said, I am the chair and I have an 8-person executive. It's hosted for undergraduates, and it's hosted about issues that undergraduates face and will face in the future. In its name, NCWE explicitly mentions one of the key discussion points of the conference: women. Women are a visible minority in the engineering profession, and Engineers Canada currently lists the percentage of females in our profession at 19%. Although women are one of the visible and large minority groups in our profession, there are other diverse subsets that we will be talking about in November. There is a major push coming from the university and industry to engage other minority groups, such as Aboriginals, members of northern communities, LGBTQ, and disabled persons. We will be taking 3 days in November to discuss 4 different streams: communication, problem identification, education, and workforce revitalization. First, for the communication stream, we'll be partnering with the Ron and Jane Graham School of Professional Development to look at how we will be having the conversation over the 3-day period. We will follow that with a discussion of problem identification and why diversity matters and why the engineering community is not diverse enough. Following that, we will look at where the solutions are in the education system from elementary to university, as well as how diversity changes the workplace in the last 2 streams, education and workforce revitalization. Not only does NCWE work to make a difference in the lives of the conference delegates, but also in the engineering community, where we will be drawing from to find speakers, to the companies who will stand beside us and affirm their belief in the value of diversity, and in all of industry, where the delegates will go and inspire change in their summer jobs, internships, and careers. This conference will leave a lasting impact on the engineering community for speakers, sponsors, and attendees. Having attended this conference for the last 3 years, I can attest to the fact that NCWE positively changes your perspective. It changes your perspective on the workplace, the way you do teamwork. It changes your perspective on the way you approach leadership roles and even on how I one day hope to raise my children. This conference changes your perspective and will positively impact our engineering community. I look forward to interacting with you, the engineering community, in this exciting time as my team and I look to you for sponsors and speakers in planning for NICWE this November. If you are interested in being a partner in NICWE or would like more information about the conference, I would love to talk to you more this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Engineering is a profession which impacts all people, and as we build the future, we should do it together. So any effort toward greater inclusivity is something I think we all applaud. So thank you very much, Jessica. We're now coming to the part of our program where I'd like to invite our new Dean of Engineering, Dr. George Kiparos, who recently joined us from Dalhousie, to come and say a few words on the occasion of this event. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Kiparos.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm deeply honored to bring greetings on behalf of the faculty, alumni, and staff of the College of Engineering to the 38th Annual C.J. MacKenzie Gala. It is also my pleasure to welcome the Honorable Rob Norris, Deputy Minister Nithi Govindasamy, Councillor Merlin Lowen, and President Bush Wisniak to this event. The C.J. MacKenzie Gala is an important event to the college and serves the collaboration and the networking between the engineering profession and those who are aspiring to get into the field. That means the students. This event would not be possible without the commitment of our sponsors, and on behalf of the College of Engineering, I would like to thank our premier sponsor, the Graham Group, and our event sponsors, the Mosaic Group of Companies, K&S, and BHP Billiton. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all the members of the organizing committee for continuing to make this annual event a big success. This evening, we are privileged to hear about the great work of our distinguished lecturer, Dr. Charles Till. Dr. Till will demonstrate the vast potential graduates from our college can achieve and the importance of the discipline of engineering. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Just a word of thanks to the speaker. Just want to point out that MacKenzie Galas are celebrations. And I would like to say it's more than a celebration. It is celebrating the past, nurturing the present, and inspiring the future. And when we were asked to find a speaker for this event, a privilege for the physics and engineering physics department, we got on to work last spring, and we were pouring through the biographies of people. And when we hit the Charles Till, we knew we didn't have to look any further. Only question we had was, would Dr. Charles Till accept our invitation? That's one thing. Second question was, even if he accepts, would he be willing to come to Saskatoon in January instead of going to Nevada, his winter home? And we are very, very thankful that he accepted. Dr. Ernie Barber was the dean at the time. He made a phone call and he accepted, and we are thrilled that he accepted to come here and then give the talk. And then today, as you saw, as you heard from his talk, it is an illustrious career, and a career which talks about the education, value of education that he got coming from a small town in Saskatchewan at the University of Saskatchewan. I think one of the things which we would like to, all of us to take away from this one is, like he said a few times, work hard, be confident. These are the two characteristics if you develop and work towards it. Saskatchewan is not a hindrance for you. It could be an advantage for you, an asset for you. And what Dr. Till has done, even though his project was scrapped by the American government, the ideas, the things that they have done in terms of the recycling, the fuel ideas, and managing the waste ideas. These are the ideas now being taken up by the Gen 4 reactors, which are going to become online in 10, 20 years from now onwards. So Dr. Till, your work and your colleagues' work was not a waste, and your talk was very inspirational. We would like to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sherry. And thank you very much.
And a small Just a few more words of thank you to the people who should be recognized here. And MacKenzie Gala got started back in 1976, as was called as Alumni Distinguished Alumnus Seminar. And it was started by two professors at the time. One was Mel Hussein, who is here today, and the other one was Chibodiak. And without that initiative that they have started a small activity, we would not be celebrating this big activity of 38. So I would really like to thank Dr. Mel Hussein, who is here today. Please join me in applauding him for that. An event of this kind really takes lots of people, lots of supporters, lots of sponsors. And the industry, business, and the government, and the administrators, all of you have been very supportive of this. The fact that we could fill all this place here was nothing but because of your contribution, because of your support, because of your interest. And we hope that this activity, this interest will continue in the future years. And basically, I also want to thank the student participants indeed. Student participants recognize that this kind of activity is meant for you. It is trying to motivate you, and it is trying to take away something from this kind of symposia and activities. Please recognize that. And last but not the least, if I have to identify one single person who made all these things possible, I worked pretty much, very consistently, very actively, with a smiling on her face. It will be Shana Jardin. And you may have met her, and she has done a wonderful job, and we could have done without her. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Well, with following a lecture that I think can only be described as spellbinding, riveting, I think even if you're not a physicist, you would agree that was quite a story that Dr. Till told us. And Dr. Rangacharyulu's closing words, I'd like to thank you all for coming, thank our dignitaries, President Bush-Vishniak, Councillor Lowen, who had to leave a bit early, Dean Kiparos, and our various colleagues, and of course Minister Norris, who we were delighted to have attend. So thank you all. Thanks to all the students, all the volunteers, Shauna Jardine especially. So thanks again.